This is the story of a person who I tried to help jumpstart their car, and it didn't work because this this woman, she was a very stubborn woman, and I told her that she was putting the the cables in the wrong place, and she was, and I know it. But she insisted, to put it there. Because she was dumb and stubborn. And I told her, okay, we can try it how you want me to try it, but if it doesn't work, we're gonna do it how I know it should be. And she said, okay. And so we tried it her way first, and it didn't work. And I knew it wouldn't work, but I just did it to show her that it wouldn't, so that she would see. And then when it didn't work, then she basically said, like, oh no, forget about it. And she closed the hood of the car, and it was all very odd how she did that. But it wasn't, in hindsight, because I found this woman at a gas station. She was just sitting in the floor, and I thought she was like a bum or something. And I asked her, like, hey, do you need food, or do you want food? And she was like, no. Eventually she told me that she needed help with her car, and I was like, I can help you if you want. And I drive to the car, and when I get to the car, there's people out there. We get to the car, right, and we start setting up the thing, and we start trying to read the instructions, because neither of us have done this before. And start watching some YouTube videos how to do it, blah blah blah. And we finally figure it out just reading the instructions, and I'm about to try, Both of our cars are off. We put the cables there. Then I turned my car on, and I'm like, let's wait a few minutes so that the car, charges a bit or something. I don't know what I was doing or saying, but and in that time where we were just waiting, I started talking to her about Jesus. And I told her the gospel. I told her that you can know that you have eternal life. I told her 1 John 5:13. I told her some verses. I don't remember everything I said because it was some time ago. But I probably told her John 3:16 and some other verses. And I explained to her some things about, institutional churches, etc. And anyway, after I talked to her about Jesus, and she even said, oh, I wanted to read the Bible, blah blah blah. She pretended like she was kind of interested in Christianity or in Jesus. What a fake woman. Anyway, so when the car doesn't start, she was like, no, we're gonna just close it and leave. I'm just gonna be here all night. And I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm like, this woman is crazy. But anyway, I get on my car because I'm like, she's just insisting and she doesn't want to try the way I told her, because she was putting the jumper cable in a screw that wasn't even on the pole, because sometimes there are screws that are in the pole, but this screw wasn't even in the pole, and she wanted to attach the cable to that and think that that was somehow gonna work. And I was telling her, no, this is not the pole. You can see, look at my battery. This is a pole, this is a pole. This is the negative, this is a positive. And she was like, no, because the cover of the battery was on top of where that screw was. And so she thought that because the cover of the battery was in that specific part, that was where the pole was. But the pole wasn't exactly there. It was in another spot, and I told her, this is the spot. We should try it here instead. And she was like, no, okay. And I was like, okay, no, all right, I'll go. And I get on my car, and I put the windows down, and I told her, because I had noticed that something was weird about her, and I told her, I can tell you're like scared of me or afraid of me or something, and I meant you no harm. I just wanted to help you. And this is when everything reveals itself. And she goes, oh, I'm not scared of you. And all that, I don't remember the exact words, but she said, all that trash you spewed out of your mouth. This is what she said. You spewed out of your mouth. I don't believe any of it. And she spat on the floor, like showing me, like, that's what I think of the gospel. She spat on the floor right in front of me. And she said, Jesus isn't gonna save you. And I told her, well, Jesus has already saved me, and he loves me, and I am proof of his love. And after that, I just left. That's my last words to that woman. And but yeah, it just goes to show how people are willing to pretend for a bit if they need something from you. But when they don't get something or what they need, they reveal their intentions, and it just shows how fake people can be, you know? And I'm sure what went on in her mind when it didn't work out how she wanted it to, she was like, oh, this Jesus guy, this God ain't helping me. Like, it was actually her own fault, because she didn't want to do what I told her, and I'm sure it would have worked. I hope after the day after, she went to the mechanic and asked the mechanic or whoever changes the battery if I was right or not, if that was the pole, which I told her, because they would have told her, you know. But now that I have helped somebody start their car, jumpstart their car, I know that I was doing the right thing. And it's hilarious to me how people just assume things wrongly, and they're so stubborn and dumb that they don't want to receive help or receive the gospel or receive God's help, you know. But that was some time ago, actually. I guess I just remembered because I was thinking of the other person that it actually worked, that I jump started their car. But it's still an interesting story about demons manifesting.